Hi guys, this is Dormouse03. Welcome to my 100% walkthrough for Prey. This is the 2017 reboot, just so that we're clear. And I'm going to be showing you how to get all of the achievements or trophies on this game. That is all 48, plus the platinum if you're doing it on PlayStation. So, to talk a tiny bit here at the beginning about how this is going to be structured, you're going to need to do 2 playthroughs. The first one I'm going to show you in its entirety, and we're going to be getting the vast majority of the achievements or trophies, 45 out of the 48, which is pretty awesome. And we're going to be playing through with no Neuromods. We are going to be making a save about 2/3 of the way through the game, roughly, where I'm going to make a save. I'm going to show you how to get all of the random miscellaneous achievements or trophies that you need to use abilities for. So you want to save up all of your Neuromods and things and weapon upgrades and spare parts and all of the things that you're going to need for those miscellaneous achievements or trophies. You're going to want to save all of that stuff. And I'll be showing you, I have there's a drawer in the office, in Morgan's office, where I'm going to be storing a lot of that stuff. But you don't want to recycle it or just not pick it up. You do want to keep that stuff because we are going to be getting all of those things in this first playthrough. We're just going to be saving before we do so and then reloading the save. So, that being said, this playthrough is going to be collecting all of the collectibles, finding all of the bodies, getting all the emails, eating all the food, finding all the transcribes, all of those awesome things, doing all the random achievements and side quests and that kind of stuff. And then we're also going to be keeping everybody alive, or as many people alive as we can. Sometimes the game randomly will kill someone that you have saved, but that doesn't matter as long as you don't kill anyone yourself for the Do No Harm achievement or trophy. And you save most of them and do the couple specific things that I'm going to show you to do for the I and Thou achievement or trophy to be empathic. And so that's going to be this first playthrough. Then we're going to reload at the end and pop on one Typhon Neuromod so that we can then complete the game again, and you'll just have like a couple of seconds to do of the game, and that will count for the first of your playthroughs, quote unquote, for your Split Affinity achievement or trophy, to do one with Typhon and one with human Neuromods. And then on your second playthrough, when you're going to kill everybody and use human upgrades, you will get your last 3 achievements or trophies. So hopefully you got all of that. It is kind of complicated, but don't worry, I'm going to be taking you through right now. It'll make sense. It all makes sense. This is a full guide, guys, so we're going to be taking this entire adventure together. So there's a bunch of stuff around here. There's no need to pick any of it up right now. The only thing that you do want to make sure that you do is read your first 3 emails on this computer. So you open it up and we have congrats and welcome, delivery, and ready. And so those are our first 3 emails. You need to read 150 emails throughout this game in order to get the achievement or trophy for reading all of those things. And that is called Press Sneak. So we'll be getting that one as well as all of the other collectibles throughout the game. But that's your first 3. So like I said, there's no need to pick up anything else right now because it's not going to transfer after this opening sequence anyway. So just be aware of that. We're going to come out of this door, say hello to Patricia, and it gives you some little tutorials here You know, press A to jump, press down to sprint, press B to slide while you're sprinting, or just crouch. So the sprint, slide, you sprint, slide, and then keep moving if you keep pressing forward on your stick, and you will uncrouch, as you see. But if you sprint and slide and then let go of your sticks, then you will stay crouched. So that's kind of important for when you want to sneak around. And right here, we're going to be making a quick save, because we're going to be getting our first number 1 out of 48 achievements or trophies. It's called No Show, and you want to jump into the helicopter blades and die on your first day on the job. So we come around to the front of this helicopter, we walk into the blades, and then we die, and we have achievement number 1, No Show. You died to the helicopter blades on your first day on the job. And then you just want to click load last saved game, and you should be right back in front of the helicopter. So we're going to get onto the helicopter and enjoy these nice opening titles. I think that it's a really cool way that they have done this opening title sequence.
Please make yourself comfortable.
Having the titles and everything, the credits on buildings and stuff as we're flying through. I just think that's neat. A nice way to keep everything in game, because I believe that this entire thing is in engine. There's no cutscenes per se.
That's a nice view on the bay there.
Because while this could have been just a cutscene, we are still in we're in control of our camera. Well, not in full control, but we're in control of the camera. And so it's not taking you out of the game world and into a separate engine for the cutscenes, which is, I think, neat.
Here we are, Ms. Yu. Mind the glass on the way out. Good luck to you.
Alright, so now we are in full control again. And we're going to be heading on through this opening part of the game.
Welcome, Morgan Yu. You have a...
And so there's not really much to speak about at the beginning here. You just need to do it, basically. There's no enemies to fight. There's not really anything complicated to do. So I will use this as an opportunity to talk a little bit about how this thing is going to be structured.
Morgan,
so,
finally.
Like I said, we're going to be getting the majority of the achievements and trophies in this first full playthrough. And so it's going to be pretty lengthy because finding all of these collectibles and things takes a little while, and you really have to do some exploration and stuff like that. But the second time that you play through, it should be a whole lot quicker. I want to say my initial playthrough where I was going through and writing down all of these things, making my notes for this guide, it took me like 35 hours or something to complete. And now that's playing through pretty slow and taking a lot of notes on things. And so hopefully your playthrough and this playthrough here that I'm doing is going to be much quicker than that, because I'm not having to pause and write down notes and things. But just to give you an idea of a comparison, that's about how long that first playthrough took. And then my second one was like 10 hours. And so it's not that big of a deal to get through the game if you're not picking up everything and exploring everything and collecting everything. And 10 hours is probably on the long end because I was still, going around and collecting some stuff and making a couple of notes and things throughout that second playthrough. But just wanted to kind of give you a comparison there. It takes a long time to explore all of these areas and things, much, much longer than the game actually would take you if you were not doing that. So that is something to note, guys. You will spend a vast majority of your time on your first playthrough because you're going to be getting all of these collectibles and things. If you're following this guide and doing it the way that I do it, that is what you'll do. You will spend a much shorter period of time on your second playthrough because you're not going to need to do nearly as many things.
Look, is she? She's hiding behind the chair.
But just know that it's not going to be another huge, long thing for that playthrough because you're not going to be exploring everything on that one.
Sorry, let's keep things moving, Morgan. Head into room C.
So just wanted to give you an idea of the time that it might take to complete this game. It actually is, it's a lot bigger than I anticipated this game to be. When I first purchased it, I thought that it would be kind of a quick completion and a quick guide to get up for you guys, but it turned into this long, complicated process of stuff because it has all of these collectibles and things that I needed to note. And so because of that, it ended up being a much longer thing, which I don't think is a bad thing. I mean, I think you get plenty of value for your purchase price, so it's pretty cool.
Speaker's still on.
Also, never does this game look more like Dishonored than when you're looking at the faces. when you're looking at the way that the people are designed, you can definitely tell that they took some similar art style. Not exactly the same, because I don't think that it looks exactly like Dishonored. The style is a little bit different. It's slightly more realistic, I think. I believe the Dishonored graphics are a bit more stylized, but you can definitely see that it's Arcane Studios. So,
I'm going to show you a series of questions. Pick the answer that makes the most
in any case, we're about to get through this opening sequence. You can answer these questions in any way that you want to.
Good.
It does not matter.
Keep going.
But what else can I say about the way that the guide's going to be structured? I'm going to try to keep each video to a specific area. And so we're going to be doing this first one through the opening sequence, through the Neuromod division, as we're going through the opening of the game. And then when we get to the lobby, it'll be in a separate one. And so that's kind of how we're going to structure this thing. Just for you to remember, in terms of number of collectibles that you need to find, something good to know is that you don't have to collect every single one of the collectibles, just most of them for the 3 big collectible achievements. So for the ones to find all of the crew, to find all of the transcribes, and to find all of the emails, it's not completely accurate to say all, because it is not 100% of them. You just need to find the majority of them. So I counted 277 total crew members. You only need 265 of those for the achievement or trophy to pop. There's well over 70, well, maybe not well over 70, but probably 75 to 80 transcribes. You only need 65 of those. And there are probably at least 160, 165 emails that you can find. And you only need 150 of those. So if you did miss those 3 at the beginning, because those 3 at the beginning are the only 3 that are missable, all of the others you can go back to, but the 3 at the beginning you can't find again because they're gone now. And so if you missed those, that is okay. And if you're finding a couple of these to be irritating to get to or locate, there are a few crew members that are kind of annoying to get to, that's okay. You do not need to get every single one of these things. So just wanted to make note of that here at the beginning before we get started. So, as for emails, numbers 4 through 9 are going to be on the computer right here. There are 6 Danger Leave Now emails, and you just need to click on every single one of them to make sure that the exclamation point has gone away and that this number, there's no number in parentheses next to the 6 on the emails, and that ensures that all of them have counted. You don't have a stats screen just yet, so under data it does list all 6 of those emails. However, there's no stat screen. It will show up a little bit later on and tell you the number of emails that you have read. But for right now, the only way to keep track is to just keep that mental tally. You'll also notice that the 3 that we read at the beginning are not listed here under the email list, but they do count for 3 emails to read. And so you'll notice that once we do get our stats screen that we can look at. It'll be after research here. I don't know why it doesn't show up here at the beginning. Maybe they'll patch that later. I'm not sure what the purpose of not having a stats screen at this point is, but you'll notice that those 3 will have counted once you see your stats. So we should be at 9 total, not 6 at this point. Moving forward, in the kitchen, there's going to be several food and drink items. You're going to need to make note of what they are. You're going to need to eat and drink 30 different food and drink items in order to get your achievement or trophy on that. And so you should have the first 5 here. You'll also note that some of these are random. These here at the beginning are always the same, 5, but you will randomly find different ones in different containers and on bodies and things. And so the point at which you find the different food items might be slightly different from mine, but you just want to make note of 30 different ones that you are eating or drinking. So keeping a little checklist or tally will be helpful for you. So in any case, the first 5 should always be in this location, and they're going to be Kings and Way sparkling wine, sun-dried tomato jerky, glucosist, Sky King pomegranate, and Cold Mountain green tea. And so those should always be there. All 5 of those things should be guaranteed finds. So that is that. We're going to put on our suit and we're going to carry forward here. As far as crew members, of the 265 that you need to find, congratulations, you've already found yourself. So Morgan counts as number 1. And then our second crew member is going to be Patricia Varma right here. And you just want to pick up whatever is on her body. That's going to be random. And this wrench, which will be guaranteed because you need it to move forward. So we're going to bust through this glass here, crouch, and jump through. And then there's going to be some more Kings and Way sparkling wine. Do note that just picking up these things doesn't count as eating or drinking them. You need to eat or drink them out of your inventory in order for them to count as things that you have used. And so I'm not going to do that just yet because they're healing items, but just know that you need to actually consume them in order for them to count for that achievement or trophy. So you should have 5 at this point. There's going to be several different things to pick up here. And there's going to be a mimic in this area. So we're going to be watching out for him. You can also climb onto these shelves and jump and grab that stuff right there. And then we're looking out for Mr. Mimic. Okay. I'm just running around in here to try to get him to spawn. He looks like he doesn't want to play with us right now, so we're just going to keep collecting some stuff. So there's some wire, there's some tubing, and there's some more wire back here. And then we're going to find our next emails at this computer down here. So Evelyn McCarthy's computer will have 2 emails on it. Something else to note is that the number in parentheses next to the big number here are the number of things that you have not read yet, because some of these computers will have the same emails on them. I'll show you that in just a second, but just make sure that you've read the number of things that it says on there. So this is daily tests and a note about this morning. And when you exit out, that number in parentheses should have gone away. So that's emails number 10 and 11. And we're going to be continuing forward here. Search trash cans and stuff just to see if there are any items. You want to jump onto these cabinets here. There's going to be a note, which will make sense later. And then there's going to be some items in this briefcase. There will be a random chipset, and so this one happens to be the backlash reactor, which means that you have a chance to return damage to the attacker, which is a pretty good one. Whichever one it is, go ahead and put it on. It's going to be the only one that you have right now, so some of them are more or less useful, just depending on the way that you've spec'd yourself. So in this briefcase now we have a medkit, some more glucosist. This disruptor stun gun will always be here with 500 batteries for it. And so this is an early way to get a disruptor stun gun, which is pretty cool because these are very useful for you. So we're going to swap back to our wrench. We're going to read this note here. We're also going to read this note right here because that's going to give us the password for Marco Simmons' computer. And we're going to type it in. And so here is an example of there being fewer new emails on here than total. So you see there's a total of 3, but only 2 of them are new. And so the reminder about company password policy and bad install are new. And then the note about this morning is one that we've already read. So that will be emails 12 and 13. And we're going to continue on. Pick up that plastic tubing. And we're going to move forward through here. So I think it's very cool that this was set up as, it just shows you that everything that you just did was a simulation. I think that's pretty nifty. Every time I've come to this toolbox, it's been two spare parts. And so I feel like that might be a guarantee. Although a lot of the things in these boxes and things are random. So it's funny. Some things are random, some things are not. You can go ahead and reset the simulation here, although we're not going to be going back through it again. And there's no new emails or anything on this computer. It's just the old one that we've read already. But just note that when we come back here in the future, when we have our abilities, we're going to go into test management and not hit the computer by accident. We're going to go into test management and hit reset and go back and do all of those tests again in the quote-unquote correct way in order to get the achievement or trophy for that. But we don't have those abilities yet. That'll be much later in the game. Pick up this med kit. There's going to be a mimic there. It's behind glass, and so you don't really need to worry about it.
Typhon cacoplasmus. Everyone calls them mimics. Be careful what you
I'm going to pick up 2 out of 3 of these crumpled pieces of paper. I'm leaving this one on the floor on purpose so that it will be there later for me to use to mimic when we are going for our mimic 20 different objects achievement or trophy. There's going to be 1 new email on Zhao Longhing's computer. That is going to be email number 14. Morgan's behavior. And then we're going to also pick up our first transcribe. It is Marco Simmons' transcribe, and it will be right here. This one is going to play automatically. Some of them will not play automatically, and so you just need to make note of that. You want to play them all for them to count as transcribes that you have listened to. So if for whatever reason you miss one or you feel like you've missed one, you can always go into data, audio logs, and then they're listed right here and you can play them from the menu. So if you miss one or if you think you've missed one, then you can go in and play them like that. There's a burnt circuit board right here. Again, I'm going to leave this right there so that it can be an object that we can transform into later on. And we're going to continue. Note that when you come up here, there's going to be a mimic. So there should have been a mimic in that other area back there. I don't exactly know where it went, but usually there's one down in this area, right down here where we were messing around on those shelves. So just be aware that there will probably be one there for you. Of course, I'm recording, and so nothing works when I'm recording, so there you go. Here is crew member number 3, Greta Mikkelsen. And, here's another mimic. So it's possible that this one followed us. Sometimes there's 2 up here, I've noticed, so it may just be if you missed the one down there, it kind of came up here and followed you. Anyway, Greta Mikkelsen, crew member number 3. We're going to pick up that wrench off of her. Corpse. And then there should be a couple of items in here that we're going to just go ahead and grab. Some tubing. Some wire. And then we're going to go through decontamination. So our 4th crew member, Jovan Gravilovich, is going to get eaten. right in front of us here. This kind of introduces you to the fact that the mimics multiply themselves,
No one has been able to stop the mimics from multiplying since they broke
which is
into
pretty
human.
cool.
I'm going to help you stay
Now,
alive.
when you get to this person's corpse here, this is crew member number 4, as we said before. They're going to have random stuff on them. And so right now you'll see that I found crispy frites. This will be number 6 of your food and drink items. He might not have crispy frites on him. So just so that you know, some of these things are a little bit random. You're going to find a lot of these food items. The vast majority of them are going to be all over the place. You just need to note down which ones you have found and which ones and how many you have not found. And so I'm going to put in the description a list of all of the different food and drink items. There are 30 total. And so you just need to maybe copy and paste that into a Word document for yourself, or write them down and mark off which ones you've found and which ones you haven't. But chances are yours will pop about the same time that mine does, because the last couple of items that you need are later on in the game and are not found here in the beginning, but a lot of the more common ones are found around here in the beginning. So, in any case, there's going to be some random stuff in these lockers, and there's going to be a medkit right here. And when we go into this office on that poor guy who just died, Jovan Gravilovich's computer, there's going to be 2 more emails. So these are 15 and 16, next week's test, and urgent. And then the note about this morning that we keep finding everywhere. So those also initiate the quest, The Corpse Vanishes, to find Bellamy's corpse. We'll be doing that because he's one of the people that we're going to find. So you get this little introduction that tells you that you can play in many different ways. So here is a really good example of being able to spot mimics. So you see how there's 2 chairs at this desk? Nobody needs 2 chairs at their desk. So clearly one of these is a mimic. So we're going to hit it. We're going to pick up any stuff that we can. And we're going to read email number 17 on Alice Aiken's computer, re-simulation question. You cannot get onto Caleb Hawthorne's computer. You can come back here and hack this later when we get some skills, but that's going to be way later on in this guide, because we're going to be getting all of the things that we need to use Neuromods for later. You'll probably have enough emails collected without needing to get on here, but it can be a thing that you hack later on in the game. So keep that in mind. We're going to come up here. One of these chairs is going to be a mimic. I think it's like one of these. Yeah. Okay, so it's that one. Remember, you can break these things, these cases, and harvest the flowers and stuff. That'll be organic matter that you can use to fabricate stuff later on. And then on Sylvain Bellamy's computer, we're going to have emails 18 through 20. So, personality drift results, which you can read if you want to. And that just tells you the results that the things that you did in the last simulation that you did. Daily tests, and how have my people been coming to you? So those are the 3 emails there. There's also the simulation lab key card on his desk, which means that we can use that to get through the door up here. And we're going to use that, but we're also going to kill the mimic that is this box. And so we're going to use this But, and look, there's a crazy phantom thing. Oh my goodness, what is it? It's so scary. But it can't get you right now. We're going to come up here and we're going to go through this maintenance access panel because there are a couple of items right here that will be useful when we're trying to make bullets and stuff later on. And then around this area, so sometimes this apple falls off on the floor, so somewhere around in here there will be a Methuselah apple, and so that should be, it's number 7 for us, but guaranteed number 6 for you guys. So if you've only found 6 different food items, if you didn't find those crispy frites on that body, then this will be number 6. And so next, there's going to be a mimic in here. And it is glued. So we can just smash it. And that's introducing you to the glue gun. So the glue gun can incapacitate enemies like that so that you can smash them, which is pretty neat. And we're also going to have crewmate number 5. And so this is Veer Singe, crew member number 5 that we needed to locate. And he has some good stuff on him and the glue cannon. I always call it the glue gun. I don't know. It's called the glue cannon though. So. But when I say glue gun, I mean glue cannon. This thing is really cool. It allows you to make platforms and stuff. And that will be very, 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 very useful later on. But for right now, we're going to climb up here. We're going to find crew member number 6 and fall off of here again because, you know, that's what we like to do. Natasha Nikova. So again, she has a random food item on her. This time it's actually called Random Dim Sum. So that may or may not be there, but if it is, go ahead and pick it up. Or if it's something different, go ahead and pick it up. Again, just note down which ones you found and which ones you have not found.
Morgan, there, in the foyer.
So we have mimics here.
Display case. Normally it's a fake, but I swapped in a real one for you. The Neuromods are critical.
So we're going to come down here, we're going to smash this mimic.
I've already updated your transcribe with the list you requested.
We have a couple more mimics. And I really didn't want to engage both of these at once, because they're irritating enough on their own. They're way irritating when they're trying to... Way irritating? They're very irritating when there are packs of them, so... In any case, that was 3 out of the 4 mimics that are in this area. And now we can pick up some things and stuff. And here's another one. So this is mimic number 4. So there's one bucket here. If there's more than one bucket, there's a mimic. Pick up some parts off of that dirt skiff. And organic material. And in this room, the conference room, you're going to find crewmate number 7 and transcribe number 2. So crewmate number 7 is Robert Gage, and on his corpse you will find transcribe number 2. And this one you need to hold the back button to listen to. Just make sure you do that, and if you miss the prompt, then go into your menu and select it. It's gonna be someone's coming.
Robert, you have to get out of there. Come to the elevators. Someone said we're evacuating. Robert?
Shh. Hang on. Someone's coming.
Check the trash cans. You want to pick up all of these materials as you go along because they're going to be important to have in order to fabricate more ammunition for your weapons later on. This is introducing you to the favorites wheel, which is pretty good. You just hold Y, and you can do lots of stuff in here. You can reassign your guns, your weapons to different slots. So if you wanted the disruptor in the right, you just push right on the D-pad. I like the setup that we have, but you can rearrange things as you want. You can also select any weapon. So if we wanted to select our glue cannon, there it is. If we want to select our wrench, there it is. So it's just a really quick way of swapping between stuff if you don't have them on this quick select, because you can only put 3 weapons there. You can also press RT to use a med pack, LT to use a Psy-Hypo, or RB to use a food item, and that just sort of collects all of your food items into one thing, so you can do that, and that is a very, very useful way of getting all that stuff. We're going to have another mimic down here. We're going to swing and miss a lot of times because that's how we like to do it. Note that you can't get through here because we need to get these crates and stuff out of the way, and we can't do that right now, but for later, there is a body in there. We're going to come back and get that later on. You can get through this door by having leverage 1 to remove that crate. You might need leverage 2 to remove this one as well, because you might not be able to crouch and get under that with just leverage 1, but you might. How I would recommend getting through it, though, is to toss a recycler charge, which is something that we'll pick up later on, and it will recycle these items, and then you'll just be able to bloop through the door because they'll be gone. So that's a good way to do that without having to purchase any abilities, which is what we want, because we're not going to be purchasing abilities for the majority of this playthrough. Anyway, moving forward, we're going to come in here. There's going to be another mimic. Somewhere, yep, there he is, and okay. Come back here, you little weasel. Are you this thing? No, you're not. There you are. Sometimes these things are just mean. So if they're just being mean and running and hiding and stuff, then you don't particularly need to worry about them. You don't have to kill them all. I just didn't want it to come up behind me and ruin my day. But we'll just be aware of that little thing. I'm not going to chase it all around this lobby. So you can open these doors in the bathroom. There's only a couple of things of interest in here. There's some crumpled paper in this area. And there should be a can of cold mountain green tea right there. You can drink water from the sinks and stuff to refill some of your health. Random item in the trash can. And we're just going to move on. The mimic is probably hanging out somewhere around there, but oh, there you are. Cool. And we're going to pick up this Neuromod. So you can make a save here and use the Neuromod in order to get your first human ability, and that is an achievement called Know Thyself. We're not going to get that right now because we're going to get all of those types of achievements and trophies together, like all in one go, because I want to reload as little as possible. But just know that you can do that there if you want to. Right now, though, I'm going to make a couple of platforms with my glue gun to get up to this second level. There's not a lot of stuff that you can do up here right now because a lot of these doors are not powered just yet and you don't have the codes and stuff. However, there is one thing that you can pick up, which is pretty cool, and it is also going to be crew member number 8. V-010255-01. And so this is one of the volunteer corpses. It's going to have some disruptor batteries and another disruptor stun gun. So that is pretty cool. Again, this is a door that we're going to get through a little bit later on when we have a recycler charge to remove some of this stuff out from in front of it. But just make a note of this maintenance access panel because we will be using that when we come back to this area. So I'm just going to pick up the last of the stuff that's in this area, and then we're going to head on down. And so this is the end of this area, guys. Oop, another banana peel. Don't want to slip on that. It's the end of this little opening sequence. I hope this was helpful for you guys. I think a nice little start here. We found a total of 8 crew members. We have read a total of 20 emails, and we found a total of 2 transcribes on this part of the game, and we've gotten 1 achievement so far, no show. So that's the end of this Neuromod division section. We're going to be heading on to the lobby, and so I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.